Hello and welcome. Today I am going to make a quick video. I'm going to do it in real time. I'm going to demonstrate what I'm doing. Just paint a picture on paper using acrylic paints, and it's going to be in real time. So for anybody who likes to paint along with the artist, you can do that today. But first of all, I'll just tell you what I'm using, the materials I'm using. So I'm going to be using paper. This is just an ordinary paper that's suitable for acrylic paint, but any kind of strong paper will do. A selection of brushes, ordinary brushes, some water, different size brushes. I'm using, like, this paint is graduate acrylic paint. It's not the best quality, but it's grand for working on paper. I have better quality paints. Maybe I'll use a few of those, but mostly it will be just the graduate quality paints. So I'm just going to get started. It's going to be just playful and using different colors and floral, semi-abstract. So please just join along with me and enjoy. So I'm just going to zoom in quickly here onto this sheet of paper. And this is A4 size. And I will be turning it around and changing the orientation of it from time to time. So please bear with me on that. So yeah, I'm going to just get going. I like these pinks, so I'm going to just throw a bit of pink onto my palette and get going with that. So here we are. So yeah, I'll be talking through bits of this video, but there'll be other times where I'll be quiet. So as I start concentrating, I'll probably quieten down. So you can just follow along with me and relax and enjoy it. So yeah, I've just basically, when I begin a painting, I am getting rid of the white of the page. That usually is my big aim at the very, very beginning. And just basically using a largish, decent sized brush to start it. And I'm going to come in with a contrasting colour with a bit of blue. So I'm just putting out my paint as I'm going along. And here we go. So really, I'm not using any photograph or anything. I'm just playing with this paint. And my first aim is always get rid of that white. So I'm mixing a bit of the pink with the blue now to get myself a little bit of purple. There we are. And unfortunately, that paper is buckling a bit, so I'm going to find something to anchor that down. So I'm just going to pause it there for a sec. So I just put some clips there just to anchor that one down. And I use a spray bottle. It's just an ordinary household spray bottle that I found, and it was used up, so I use that to wet my paint so it'll last for longer. It won't dry up as I'm using it. And it might be a good idea to spray this as well, because sometimes it can lead to creating some nice drips. You can see the drip streaking down there. So and yeah, as I paint over, as I swipe over this kind of semi-wet paint, you can see the drips coming out even more, and I might even use those, you know, to create something in this painting. These are kind of like happy accidents. And across again, it'll leave just a mark of, it's like a semi-dry brush. I'm going across. It's the same brush I've been using to paint with, but it brings up, it's kind of brushing the paint off those areas where I sprayed the water, so where the drips are, and so the drips are appearing as I swipe across there, like that. So that's giving me some kind of nice effects to work with. And that can be great as well to build up textures, adding paint and taking paint away. I've got a palette knife here, just an ordinary palette knife, but you can use anything like a nail or an ordinary kitchen knife. And I'm just going to scrape a bit of this paint off. Now, as I scraped there, some of the paper began to rip a little bit, but that doesn't matter. I'm making some lines. It's quite a thick paper, so I'm not too worried about damaging it. And you're using the side of it to make some other marks. So what I'm doing here is I'm just creating different effects and textures. So that'll give me, when I look at that, then I'll begin to see, it might give me some ideas of where I want to put my flowers and how I want to work, how I want to continue with this piece. Now, the other thing I'm using here is, you can use ordinary white paint, but I use gesso. I just buy a huge tub of paint and I put it into this bottle. I just fill a little bottle with the gesso and take it out of that. So I'm going to just come in with some of my white paint with the brush here, and make some flower heads with this. Or some shapes. Maybe it's too early to make the flower heads. I'm just going to add in some shapes here. That's my white down. And now I'm going to go for black. Don't use black very often, but I want to make some dark marks and it's kind of handy. And I'm going to use a thin brush to make these marks. They're going to be different to what I've done. So I'm holding the brush at the very end. I'm holding the brush down here at the bottom, so it'll give me freer marks. we go. And now I'm going to come in with a contrasting colour, some yellow. And again, I'm going to stick to pretty large enough brush. And if you're following along, you're probably thinking, that's awful. It looks awful. And in the beginning it does, because I'm just playing around. But something will happen as I go along. And now I've decided I need to dry this. So I'm going to use my hairdryer to start drying this off. And I will actually pause it. So yeah, I've just finished drying it. It was very, very wet, so I needed, and it just literally took me 2 or 3 minutes there to dry the whole thing off with the hairdryer. And now I am looking at it again and trying to think, where is this going? And I may start turning it on its side just to have a think about it and look at it from another angle and work on it from that angle. I want to bring some contrast in here because it's kind of just all over the one pattern. Still some wet paint there, but it doesn't matter. That black is kind of streaking. Maybe put some of the white down the middle. As you can see, the white, I'm layering paint on now, but you can see some of the paint coming through the center. The old paint that I'm covering up. Sometimes I do this, I may just go over the whole painting and lighten it up and then start putting my darks in again. But it just gives me, the gesso is great, or just you can use white paint if you want to. You could even use emulsion if you bought a tin of emulsion. Maybe I'll get some drips going again. Okay. I'm going to put some very wet black paint on, mixed with the blue. It's actually turned into a kind of bluey, kind of a greeny grey, but it's okay. I'm going to turn this again. and I'm using a dark blue, which is called, it's Windsor Blue. Very nice colour. Really like this dark blue colour. It's fantastic. Not sure what I want to do with it though. Don't want to do too much with it. It's strong. And let's zoom in a little bit to show you what's going on. I'm going to use this brush, and it's called a rigger because it's got a very long brush. Extremely long brush at the top. And I'm going to use that to get some nice lines. Creates lovely lines. I'm also going to dip it into the pink. Let's have some pink here and there. And into the white. And again, I'm going to turn it, maybe this other direction, and have a look at that. I'll have to zoom out to let you see it. I'm coming back in with some white paint. I'm going to make some decisions now. I think this is a flower that I like. I like the shape of it. And this could be one here, actually. The whole thing could be a flower, and another one here. The rigger brush is very good for putting in stems, flower stems. I'm just kind of adding those in generally here, like foliage. And I feel I need some green. So I'm using Hooker's Green. It's very dark, but I'm gonna maybe lighten it up with a little white. And some yellow again. I'm still using the rigger brush. Back in with my white. then I'm going to add in a little bit of red. I just want to really make this pop a bit. And I'm coming back with my rigger to finish this off. Put some final touches, some stems and branches. I'm watering down my green and mixing a little bit of blue in it. Perhaps I'll mix a little red into it as well to give me a browny shade. And that's it. We'll zoom in a bit. Just to show you some of the detail on this piece. Just a playful little piece. but that may form the basis for a full painting that I may go and work on again in the future. I may use the idea to create something else. So that's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you like this, and if you want to see more, you'll get notifications and you'll know when new videos are coming, and I'll talk to you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.